she was a man, well, she was a woman, and I was a man, and we were going through the exact same things in life from being released, right? Like, so when you spoke on family, it was like those moments for holidays, right? When Christmas would come or one of the holidays would come, right? And you home, but the kids, whatever they've been doing the whole time you've been gone, right? And you don't want to break up what they had going on, being selfish, like y'all come by me. So it's like, I watch me off by myself when everybody was over there doing them at the parties the same as her. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, dang, both of us going through that part where...
And you get used to being isolated.
That too.
Like, I have no problem at all spending
like
time just
talking.
by myself.
Yeah.
Not talking, I'm in my thoughts. And because actually, I didn't realize that till a friend of mine told me. I'm like, you know what? I'm like programmed. I'll go to work and come home and I'll go in my room, close the door. I done created my own routine. So that goes along with the question you said. How is it transitioning? You don't even realize these things that you're doing until somebody may mention it or you take a step back. Like, I done created a cell in my own house.
Yeah.
You know, I go to work, come back, close the door. I'm just
in your own house.
Yeah. Isolated.
I'm talking to my partner the other day. I ain't tell you. I wanted to tell you though. I'm talking to my partner the other day, and he was like, man, E. My partner was in the feds, and he was like, E. My girl be tripping on me. She said I come home and I lock up in the bathroom for 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? And wouldn't even realize. But I done brought my computer, everything in my little square, and I'm in there doing everything and comfortable. I'd be in there for the rest of the night if she wouldn't come. So he said his mama call like, what my baby doing? She'd be like, he in there locked up in there. You know he stay in that bathroom for 3 hours. I said, well, listen, don't take it bad because I do it and my girl do it too.
Yeah, it's
you know
just
what I'm saying?
Like not instilled in you. Huh?
Yeah. It's from being incarcerated.
Yeah, yeah. Now with
crazy.
With that being said, we all know the judicial system is not designed for us, whether you're a woman or a man.
Right.
Why do you guys think that is?
Because they the slave catchers. That's it. Just transitioned over. They went from riding horses and having with them dogs they hunted the slaves with, the hound dogs until they in police cars and they sitting on the bench. They catching the slave, the runaway slaves, and especially with when they realize what I realize is we set apart. Like a lot of people they lock up. Because we thinkers, so we thinking our way outside of their system. We're bucking the system, right? So they lock us up because we're not doing what they want us to do. They want you to, it's the mind control.
Yeah.
So they like, this person, oh, you can outsmart it, you can think well. Let me lock you up.
Right.
Put you in jail.
And that's to set you up and line you up too, because when you go there and you in jail, right? And you asked about those programs and stuff, right? And when you go to those programs and you get those trades and all that, that's to go lock you in as a slave for the rest of your life. Because they really trying to lock you into their system, what makes their country go. You know what I'm saying? They're not teaching you how to run a business in jail.
Right.
You know, like, and the things that you were doing when you were running your successful business that you wasn't paying taxes on, that may be weed or whatever it is until they could tax it. That's why they locking you up to push you away from doing that and go take a trade where you could get a job and come make minimum wage and make theirs go.
And build up their corporations, their Americans. So that's why, listen, you know what I figured out? I said, listen, unconsciously, I was manifesting all of the negative things that I was doing, right? I said, let me flip it. If I put this in my brain that I'm going to do this no matter what,
right?
How can I be stopped?
Right.
So that's what our people got to realize, that you actually, the power is here in your brain. So once we grasp that, you'll see a big change. I think it's happening on small levels, but we have to really, is what we taking in, what the children are taking in, what they're being taught. I'm a new mother now, and I wanted to have a new child because I'm a different person mentally. So now the child that I'm raising is going to be completely reared different opposed to my other 4 children. Not that I don't love them different. It's just that I know better now. I'm a different person.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not that person no more.
Right. Now I want to get into the corruption. Now we all know that these cops out here, they ain't for us. And a lot of the times I always hear, with what's going on in the world, cops shooting us, I always hear, oh, they need to retrain the police. I think that's bullshit because there's no training to stop someone from doing, you know what I mean?
Right.
So what I'm trying to get at is, while you guys were in prison, what was that like dealing with the corruption, dealing with the corrupt cops, and how many of them were black?
Somebody in jail?
Yeah.
It's horrible.
And that's when I realized I was a slave. Jail in the world, especially when you live in the majority black city, you realize that we was never free, but you would feel like you're free because you'll see black people running everything. That's because they had so many Uncle Toms, they was able to back up and they was running the city without the white people having to stand over them and tell them what to do. So when you get to jail and they tell you got to go get dressed and be out there for 6:30 and you go and walk 2 hours to Monkey Island and go chop some trees down, and then you coming back for lunch and you go and walk 2 hours back and chop some more trees on Monkey Island, you realize, wait, hold up. And y'all on horses with guns, what? It's like you realize, oh, this is, and when they blatantly call you a nigga or treat you like a nigga for the first time, when a white person wouldn't play with you, but then when you see it's like, oh, okay, like that's what this is. Like, right. I was coming to I outsmart them, so I took the programs instead of going to walk to Monkey Island. So I'm coming early in the morning, and I'm coming through the gate, and I'm trying to hurry up and get dressed because I don't want to be late, and then got to deal with that. So I'm getting dressed. One of the COs like, come here, boom. Now, I made sure I did it before I got to the lady that was at the gate because I didn't want to be disrespectful because I still was raised with manners, like regardless of what situation I'm in. Right. A white dude, white CO, he told me, oh, you must don't got no respect for your mother or something, you doing that. And I looked at him because my mama died. So I looked at him like, so now I don't care what uniform you got on, none of that. I just see red.
Right.
So everybody got to tell me, man, chill. Once he realized how serious I was, he realized his uniform didn't matter either, right? So as racist as he was, he had to buy a line and come apologize to me because he didn't know how far I was going to take it, and he was over an hour in there. You know what I'm saying? But I just saw so many different forms of racism. I was like,
they treat you like shit.
That's crazy.
And you know what's the crazier part is when you get out of prison and you go to the halfway house. Now they have 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds in there literally going out their way to disrespect you so you could trip and go back to jail.
Like, I'll send you back.
I'm back.
Yeah, I'll send you. Everything is you go back. I'll write you up and send you back. Listen, I have to tell them, I don't care about jail. If you look at my record, I've been to jail so many times. I can't even tell you. So don't try to come and fear me with the fear of jail.
Right.
To cover up for your disrespect. You need to respect, for one, your elders, respect people, period, just based off the fact that I'm a human being. I'm telling you, they go, it's a, what do we call it? It's a revolving door back to prison.
And they tell you, too.
If you don't have self-control, you're going back to prison.
Right.
That's the only reason why I'm not in prison right now, because I learned self-control.
And go ahead.
In pre-release, they tell you, they say 65 to 75% of y'all are coming back, right? And I'm fresh out. Me and a bunch of people in there looking like, who? I'm not coming back. And I'm going. And then I looked up a year later, and I was turning myself back in.
And that's what I was about to ask.
And I was like, damn, now I'm looking like they knew.
Right.
Like they really knew when they told me that, and I thought they didn't know what they was talking about. They were speaking on facts on my life without even knowing me.
Right. That's what I wanted to ask. Like, why do you guys think that, you know, our black brothers and sisters who go to prison and they come out, why do you think it's so easy for them to go back in, or what happens as to why they end up going right back?
Because it's designed that way.
You go back. See, when we in there, we thinking of all these ways and these things that's going to change when we get out, right? And we like, oh, I'm going to do this. You have a bunch of good ideas, right? But then when you get out, you go back to your real life. You feel me? You know, like wherever you grew to right now, right?
That's true.
You say you from Florida, right?
Yeah.
So wherever you grew to right now, right? This is part of your path, your journey, non-stop. You had no breaks or nothing. It will start and it'll stop when you die, unless you go to jail or something pauses it, right? So when you get out, no matter how far you made it right now, you going parole back by your mama, by your grandma, wherever you started off at, and you going to start back from scratch with nothing in your pocket. And now it's like Monopoly. You go back, you don't pass go, you go back and you get back out, and then you have to start growing again from whatever point it was.
And true, because
when you started to move.
I call it people, places, and things. This time, I didn't go back. I don't kick it with the same people I used to kick it with. Not that I don't love them, I just can't do it.
You can't do it.
Because I'm a relapse on my old life.
You gotta think about
Because I know
yourself.
everything about this life, right? Everything about it. I know exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to be back in the same position. So I just don't do it. Everybody in my life now is all new people. This man is new. Everybody, he can contest that, it's all new people. That has a different lifestyle that I'm trying to get to, that I can learn something different from. You see what I'm saying? It's insanity. We don't know that we're insane, though, because we got so much trauma that we doing the exact same thing, expecting different results. I can't be on the same block thinking I'm going to be a businesswoman. It's the same thing.
I think you hit it right on the nose, because that's how it is, you know, with our young brothers and sisters, you know, like it's the same thing. Like you said, you can't create no business doing the same shit you was doing. So, yeah.
But we don't know that. So had I not took that time to say, hey, I got to figure this shit out.
Right.
Because now I'm coming to 40s now, and I'm still going to jail. I'm still doing the same. It's got to be something different. So I had to do a whole lot of things different. Even right now, I got every day, I got to do it different. I cannot go back. Because if I look back, I'm going back. If I stand on that block and kick it with the...
So what was like I would assume this last time when you came home, that was a light bulb for you, that light bulb moment. Like, this is when you had that realization, like, I can't... What was it, though, that made you...
That made me realize I couldn't...
Like, yeah.
No, in prison. Because guess what? I was in prison with some people that come from the same places as me, right? I disassociated myself from prison. From kicking it with them, hanging with them, being a part of... These is just like my homegirls, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I can't kick it with them no more. Because when I first went, I was all the way with the bullshit. Right, I was doing the same thing, just like as if I was on the block, but I'm in prison, right? So I said, wait a minute. Once I start to reflect on myself, I'm like, I can't keep kicking it with her. And it's just like I had a friend named Chocolate. Shit, in prison, hood books is urban books. Everybody break their neck. I stopped reading them because I'm reading the shit about my life. I already know the story. Mm-hmm. So why I'm going to fucking feed myself the same bullshit? I had to give myself something different, something new to excite my brain, a different picture so my vision could look different on life, opposed to learning how to be a drug dealer's wife or, I already know I already done did that. Right. I had to change the narrative. That's it.
And I think that's what a lot of, again, our young brothers and sisters, they need to have that same moment of realization, because it's like you said, it's a cycle. Yeah. Same thing happening. 1 second. Okay, so I wanted to ask, though, before we get out of here, so we talked about mental health. Now, what do you feel that or how do you feel that healthcare? How was healthcare in jail?